But I'm just wondering, from your perspective, if you get frustrated with people sort of showing up over and over and maybe not making progress in the way you think that they might if they applied things.
In most cities, it's like this. Most people are new.
Right.
But we appreciate those who return because, in fact, Jerry and Esther say frequently that it feels to them because they stay on the road,
right,
and they're moving from city to city, and this is their favorite part of life. And they say it feels to them like the same group moves from city to city to city because there is this sort of collective consciousness that is expanding. And so we don't feel frustration. Frustration is not in that vibrational vicinity, but we get what you're talking about.
Kind of the church thing where people keep showing up and not applying, but they keep showing up. They don't actually do anything with it. They just go there.
Well, you see, the most important thing to help you to realize why we never feel frustration about this particular topic is that you can't stop having your step one experience. So there's nothing for any of us to do about that. So no frustration there because the contrast is serving you exactly right. No frustration with step two because when your life causes you to ask, we all get the benefit of riding that rocket and becoming what you've asked for. And so your question is, do we ever use you as our excuse to tune ourselves away from where we are? That's what frustration would be.
I guess so, yeah.
And the answer to that is no, we never do that.
Right.
And if we did do that, then
you wouldn't be you.
And we would defy our reason for being, and our relationship with you would not be as it is.
Do Jerry and Esther get disappointed seeing some of the same faces over and over and no progress in their life? Or?
Well, it's interesting that you bring something up about that because we have said to them right from the beginning, there's never a crowd on the leading edge. And Jerry was determined. He was adamant about it. In fact, he did not want followers. He did not want an organization. He resists the idea even of forums or of anything that causes a collection of people to come and any dependency to begin. And so you're hitting upon something that's important to both of them, and it's inherent in what we know too.
Okay.
So Jerry and Esther, their attitude has been, let's live the art of allowing. Let's be what we are. Let's offer our vibration. In fact, as Jerry was talking just now about the attitude of Hay House, that was the pitch that Louise Hay and her executives gave to them the day that they met with them to discuss the perpetuation and publishing of their materials. Louise said to them, we will allow this to be. We won't pitch it. We will allow it. We will present it and allow law of attraction to find it. But there will be no hype around these materials. And that settled in just right with Jerry and Esther. So now getting back to the essence of your question, do they feel frustration when someone else doesn't get it? The only frustration that we ever see Esther or Jerry, for that matter, feel is when they don't get it. In other words, when they've expanded to a place and they have not allowed themselves to go there, their frustration is only about them not going there. So if they were to see themselves as teachers of better lifestyles, which they do, they see themselves that way, and they were to explore the contrast and they were to see many people not get it, let's say, and out of people not catching on, not being ready for it, they were to launch a rocket of desire that they are looking forward to people finding the ease and satisfaction that they have felt. And then they were to look at those that they've determined aren't getting it and use them as their excuse to not go where they have gone. Then Jerry and Esther would feel frustration. But they're wise enough now to not do that so much. Of course, sometimes, and here's the closest thing to that we can find in their vibration. Sometimes someone will invite them to dinner. And sometimes they go. And sometimes that person who they know, who's been part of this, who's up to speed with it, who knows about the stream, who knows about law of attraction, who knows about vibrational escrow, who knows about the vortex, who knows about law of attraction, sometimes that person who they know knows all of that stuff will bring someone with them who doesn't know that stuff. And then dinner isn't fun.
Right.
Because they can't talk about what matters to them. They have not had a law of attraction coming together. They've had a forced coming together. So they've learned to let things happen. They don't like to plan too much.
Like surgeons having dinner with a first-year college freshman or something. They can't really talk about all the
Well, the
cool
thing about it
surgery
is,
stuff, yeah.
some of the people who are just coming to it, life has prepared them for asking. And as long as someone is in a place where they're asking, it doesn't matter to Jerry or Esther or any of us where they are in relationship to their understanding of this. If their asking is bright and their resistance isn't much, then we will all have a very good time together. In the beginning, Jerry and Esther thought, well, because there were, as you said, some people who came and came and came. For a while, they only moved around Texas. And so once a month, they were in San Antonio. And then once a month, they were in Houston. And once a month, they were in Dallas. And once a month, they were in Austin. And so they were meeting a lot of the same people, but always new people too. So Jerry and Esther got a very good idea. Let's have an old-timers meeting in every city. And let's have a newcomers meeting in every city. So for a few months, they did that until they discovered everyone came to both meetings. No one wanted to miss anything. And then they began to discover that it doesn't matter how new or long someone has been steeped in the material. It is their life that is causing them to ask. And if someone's in a fresh place of asking, they came to trust that we would find a way to bring them into closer proximity of hearing. And you got to understand, it's not our goal or their goal to get anyone to know what we know. We're not trying to get people to live what we teach or to want what we want. It is our desire that life lets people know what they want. In other words, individual lives cause individuals to create their individual vortexes. All we want to do is to give you the basics so that you can find a way to fulfill what your life has caused you to become. So when this really works, what happens is this group of people who are vibrationally similar in the sense that they know they create their own reality, create very diverse realities, you see.
I have a business. I actually find a lot of business owners come to these. I get your CDs, and I find it's a lot of independent sort of people. So I don't know.
Freedom seekers all over the place. Yes.
So there's my business, and there's one other business in town, and we both do the same thing, and we compete neck and neck for business. And I found myself lately sort of getting involved in what I've been doing really well lately, but I found myself getting involved in what they're doing and what their specials are and what their marketing is like, and maybe I should copy this. Am I getting away from just staying focused on my own thing and bringing people to me on my own deal? Or?
And feel the harmony of the first subject that we talked about and this second subject. In other words, everything that we were saying to you is about how exposure to life causes you to know what you want. And when you focus upon what you want, the universe is orchestrating the circumstances and events to yield it to you in spades. But when you look back at part of the contrast that caused you to want it, now you split your energy. And it is your splitting of energy that feels like the competition is getting the best of you. In other words, there is no competition. So let your competition do its work, which is it helps you to identify with greater clarity what you want from your business. But once the idea has been born, never look back at the competition until the competition naturally shows itself to you again and causes you to launch another rocket. Competition is so good for both businesses because it causes each of you to reach to new places, and you become two much better businesses than either of you would be if the other did not exist. Out of the comparison and the awareness of the existence, you put more into your vibrational escrow. But when you look back at the competition, instead of what's in your vibrational escrow, now you don't let yourself go to what the competition has helped you to create. Same story over and over and over again, isn't it? In other words, you want to bless them for what they birth in you, but then don't look back, or you will use them as your excuse not to go to where you've been birthed to. Don't you love knowing that? You know what brings your clients to you? It's that the vortex that is spinning is full of them. So they're being gathered from far and wide, far and wide. They're coming from all over the place. But if you're looking over there, then you're the missing component and you don't recognize, then, hear this. You're really going to like this. So you know how an idea will occur to you, and sometimes the idea you'll be so full of it that when you flow with it, everything about it is right and it pays off really, really good, really, really fast. And you know how sometimes you'll have an idea and it seems like you're just struggling and working at it, but you don't get any benefit from it. Well, the difference is when the contrast puts the idea over there and you work to be happy, like you are with your girlfriend, you work to feel good anyway. You don't use anything as your excuse not to feel good. You just make lists of positive aspects and you look at where you're going and you feel good. Now what happens is you're inside the vortex where you can see, where now an idea occurs to you and you're in the vicinity where you can receive it. Because the marketplace is out there creating. In other words, the marketplace is summoning you to it also. But if you're worried about that, then you don't hear the calling, and then your timing is off. You're not there at the right time. You miss the point. Somebody else gets there first. On and on it goes.
Right.
Well, you heard every bit of that. And so now let's just break it down. Same answer to both questions. Be happy anyway. Be happy anyway. So is it fair for us to put your girlfriend in the same category as business competition? Let's go there for a minute. In other words, is it the same subject? It is the same subject, because in both cases, the competition or your girlfriend, in the way you presented it to us, are your occasional reason that you don't go to who you really are. You're using components of that as your excuse to not go there, to not be a vibrational match with who you are. It's the same subject, you see. So the answer is you just got to care so much about feeling good that, because especially in business, oh no, especially in relationships, no, especially in business, no, especially in relationships, well, in all of that, there's this misunderstanding. It's a sort of flawed premise that I'm going to think my way to my success, that now I'm going to do this work, and by doing this work I'm going to find this success. And we want to say to you, the hardest work is the contrast, and the contrast is what has created the expansion. The easy part is just getting happy and letting the expansion come. But most people, you do the hard work. Relationships can be hard. Business can be hard. You do the hard work of creating the vortex, and then you keep trying to do the hard work instead of getting happy, which lets you not inside. In other words, 100% of your conscious work in business or in love relationships, 100% of your conscious work is about figuring out how to get in the vortex, how to get in the vibrational escrow, how to get in the spinning vortex. That's it. Trying to figure out how to get in there, how to get in there, how to get in there. And you know what? The only thing that keeps you from getting in there, looking over there. Looking over there, thinking about it too much, planning too much, wondering what they're doing. All those things hold you over there when that's already served you. 100% of your work is to get in there, which means, what do I want and why do I want it and what does it feel like? Forward looking, imagining, envisioning. You know, when you envision, you can make it just the way you want it. When you look at what is, you mess it all up. When you envision, you can make it just the way you want it. So use your imagination about your relationship and about your business, not for the purpose of getting to some place that you are not, but for the purpose of getting happy, for the purpose of feeling good. It's like, I'm watching this mental movie because I think I will feel better in the doing of it, period. Now, here's the last piece that we want to give you. This is leading edge and it's fine-tuning and you're hearing it all easily. When you do any of this work that we are offering here with the ulterior motive of improving a relationship or improving a business. In other words, I'm doing this work, I'm applying these processes because I'm trying to clean something up. Without even realizing it, you're looking right at what needs to be cleaned up. You're activating the conflict or the contrast, and you're holding yourself apart. You don't do this to fix the relationship. You don't do this to improve the relationship. You don't do this to fix the business. You don't do this to overcome the competition. You do this because this thought feels good and that one doesn't. That's your motive. Want to feel good, want to feel good, want to feel good, want to feel good. Gotta be who I am, gotta be who I am. I've gotta be who I am. I gotta be who I am. I can't let myself not be who I am. Gotta be who I am. Who am I? I'm easy, I'm free, I'm secure, I'm sure, I'm worthy, I'm looking forward. I'm living ease, I'm wealthy, I'm having fun, I'm spontaneous, I'm frisky, I feel good, it's easy, it's easy, it's easy, it's easy. Any other motive slows you down.